Hello, my name is Jerome from bitsandtokens.com. I'm here with Jeremy. Jeremy, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Jeremy Gardner, serial entrepreneur, founder in the blockchain space. Founded the Blockchain Education Network, a global educational nonprofit. Augur, one of the very first ICOs, decentralized prediction market platform on top of Ethereum. Then went on to join Blockchain Capital, one of the largest venture funds in this space, where I led the investment in over 6 companies and helped structure their landmark security token offering. Then I went on to launch my own venture fund, Awesome Ventures, focused on the intersection of blockchain technology, crypto assets, and a broad view of social impact.
Let's start with Augur and go back to when did you first start Augur and why?
We started Augur, I guess, in probably late 2014. The team assembled in that summer, but they weren't really working on what would become Augur. It was only after Joey and I joined the team that we stumbled upon a white paper for a decentralized prediction market platform and came to the realization that we had to build that. So we ended up moving to San Francisco, getting rid of the CEO of the original company, and incorporating what would become Augur.
I saw that in San Francisco you guys had the Crypto Castle?
So started with the Crypto Castle in San Francisco, which is really just like a office or a house office, because we couldn't afford to pay people salaries to live in the Bay Area, and we certainly couldn't afford housing and an office. We just found a house that had this great view overlooking San Francisco after living in this dingy 2-bedroom apartment called the Bitcoin Basement. I like alliteration. That ended up becoming this very interesting focal point for the industry. And then I've kind of gone on to trademark the name Crypto Castle just for the sake of avoiding misuse, and opened another one here down in Miami Beach.
Hope we can visit one day and take a nice
By all means.
peek. Awesome. Going forward from Augur, I guess I really want to know why a prediction platform?
Well, so if you think about prediction markets, what they effectively are, they're just like stock markets in which you buy and sell shares. The difference is you're not buying and selling shares in what you believe based on the future price of the company. You're buying and selling shares in the future outcome of an event. It can be the future price of the company, but it can also be the outcome of a sporting match, of a political election, of the weather. And because of that, what you have is an ability to aggregate the wisdom of crowds, have people putting their money where their mouth is and betting on what they believe will happen in the future. And you get a price based off of that, or a probability. And this is actually one of the best forecasting tools that humanity has ever conceived of. Unfortunately, because it's very similar to gambling in that you're betting on something, even though it's probably more similar to a stock market, it's been very difficult for prediction markets to operate globally. And so I saw this personally when I was in high school and college, betting on Intrade on the presidential elections, making a bunch of money as a kid, and then seeing Intrade get shut down because they could not maintain the regulatory compliance that they needed to. And the fact is that this was a real travesty to just humankind. I mean, this is this incredibly powerful tool for aggregating what people actually think, far more accurate than polls, and getting these probabilities that you otherwise can't ascertain. And so when I realized there was a way to do this using blockchain technology, I got really excited. It was one of the best use cases I ever had or have seen for decentralization.
You really got me with the election piece. I want to know, how do you get, I guess, more accurate than the polls?
People say what they want to happen when they're called by a pollster, but they don't really know what's going to happen. What happens in a prediction market is saying, like, is Donald Trump going to be elected? Which you probably would have gotten a good result on a prediction market either way. But you have people have better information than the average member of the public. They're going to bet more money. If they've proven over the course of time that they are good at predicting what's going to happen in the future, they're going to be leveraged with more cash to have a greater input on the price of a market. So the probability will swing in favor of where the best information is, because people with the best information are willing to bet more money.
Moving forward, what happened from Augur to where you're going now?
A lot of things. So, as I said, I went and joined Blockchain Capital as an entrepreneur in residence, but helped them make several investments. Started a magazine, a distributed mag, comes out twice a year, 108-page primer on blockchain technology. Incredibly informative. It's my favorite introductory text for anyone that wants to learn about this technology. And then I started Sava, which is kind of like a legacy security, legacy database security company that it harnesses blockchain technology, but I'd say it's more built around security than blockchain tech. And then last year I founded Awesome Ventures, which is a social impact fund.
Well, I want to know more about Awesome. How did you get that started, and what's your recommendation for those that want to start something similar to Awesome or Augur?
Well, don't try to start a venture fund. I mean, unless you're very well capitalized, you've been in investment banking in VC, or a very successful entrepreneur that has good partners, starting a venture fund is hard, it's arduous, and if you're wealthy enough to be investing in startups, just do it as an angel. It's kind of an exercise in masochism to a certain extent. Augur, it's different. If you have a very novel concept for a decentralized application that no one else has tried and no one else has done well, and you have an amazing team around you, go and assemble that team and come to me or someone like me. And if you really come up with something brilliant, you'll get the capital. There are more than enough investment firms focused on this space, but your team is everything. Your technical expertise is everything. Your ability to execute is paramount to being able to build a successful project in this space. And the fact is, we don't really know what a successful project is in this space. Maybe Bitcoin. I think I'd venture to say it's been successful, but it's a bit of a stretch to say anything else has been. And so if you're trying to build a decentralized application, just know that you have a tremendous uphill battle.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure, man.
Jeremy.